Shalom.
Shalom.
It's the brother Bayan
Brother Amawad.
from the GMS New Orleans camp, here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to get started, we're going to give infinite honors and prayers unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakbadash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwath, which is you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, and for this lesson, the topic is going to be on the basis of, the Lord not dealing with all Israel. All right, and that's, a stumbling block. That's something really amongst our people, our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Native Americans, the true Israelites of the Bible. You think if you hear somebody speaking, good words or speaking too deep, so on and so forth, that man, must have the spirit on him. All right, and that's not the case. All right, you have to have the spirit, first of discernment to see, what these people are saying. Is it correct? Does it line up with the scriptures and so on and so forth? But a lot of people, majority of the people in the world, including the Israelites, some of the Israelites, 2/3 specifically, don't have the truth and don't have the right information. All right, and it's leading our people astray, to death ultimately.
Let's start with the Romans.
Con.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 6. It says, "Not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel."
Con, they are not all Israel that are of Israel. Okay, and that right there, again, it has to be known. All right, so that it's still, you can get that Zechariah 13 too. It's 2/3 of our people, again, that the Lord is not dealing with. All right, and contrary, to popular belief, that's just how the Lord wants it to be. All right, the Lord is a separatist. All right, and that's something you have to know. Okay, it's not just all about the Lord just saving and saving and saving and saving. The Lord is coming back to kill and destroy, the people that are against him. And 2/3 of Israel is against the Lord.
That's a beautiful point you made. The Lord is a separatist, which the word holy means separate or set apart. All right, the Lord is all about establishing a line between the nation of Israel and the heathen, as well as a line between the elect and the 2/3, the undesirables. So if you're in the spirit of all Israel coming together, Israel united in Christ, or everybody that's Israelite is your brother and sister, you off, man. That's unholy.
Yeah, and you can clearly see, with these other guys that's pretty much pushing that longevity here in America. They want this captivity to go on. All right, but they want to try to beautify it. It's like being in a jail cell, and constantly want to buy more things to decorate your jail cell. Like, no, I want to get the hell out of jail, so I can go ahead and start my life how it's supposed to be, which is the mindset of us. All right, we want to get out of this captivity and start our kingdom, man. All right, and again, most of the people of Israel, is not with that. They want to make it right in Esau's kingdom. They still want to be equal with Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But you got something?
Yeah, real quick. This Isaiah 51:14. It says, "The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail."
Yeah, we hasten to be loose, man. All right, we have no long-term goals of being here in America, man. All right, you bugged out if you have a long-term goal. Jake constantly, have these, schemes, get rich schemes and plans of, oh man, if I could do this in about 10 to 20 years, I can set my children up, for the generational wealth. And that's just a bugged out mindset, man. All right, we're longing, for these days to be, shortened, even more than what it actually is, to get the hell out of here. Plain and simple.
Yeah, if you have a group of prisoners that's all determined to break out and escape, then you have another group of prisoners that's, like the brother was saying, they decorating their room. They trying to stay there for life. They won't die there. They institutionalized. Even if they leave, they don't know what to do on the outside. Those two groups of prisoners can't coexist.
All right.
They're not going to gel together, man.
And then they got the Amos. Can two walk together? Lest they be agreed. And that's that. In that case right there, no, man, we can't walk together with you niggas that want to be in hell. We want heaven. We want our condition to be heaven-like, not hell-like, which the hell that we are in right now. you know.
But that's Zechariah for you.
Con.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
All right, so this is a math equation that the Lord just gave you. Okay, so 2/3, you know, of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans will die. That's appointed in the Bible. All right, the Lord, that's from the Lord, you know, and 1/3, you know, is going to be saved. You know, the men, you know, and the believers, you know, ultimately who is doing everything in their will to get as close to Yahweh Shem Shai as possible in this grace period that we're in. Okay, but again, it is appointed for 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to die, man. All right, and it's reason behind it. You know, it's again because you guys are not seeking the Lord. You guys are seeking again longevity here in America and doing everything that is not pleasing unto the Lord. All right, and that's why the Lord has to cut this thing off, man.
Yeah, and ultimately, if the Lord was to deliver all of Israel, 2/3 would just start murmuring, they would start complaining, and ultimately they would sabotage the kingdom of heaven. Because they don't want righteousness.
Yeah, they don't want righteousness, man. They want this microwavable, you know, benefits that they get from Esau Edom. You know, that's here today and gone tomorrow. You know, they like to what it says, tell me sweet things.
Yeah.
You know, they like to know all of the things that are pretty much lead them to being a better slave rather than being a king, rather than being a prince of a power. You know. Yeah,
Ezra spoke of those people that while they had yet liberty, these people love liberty. They love that the so-called white man could allow them to commit adultery, idolatry. This society is a free-for-all. You could worship whatever God you want. You could do whatever you want, dress however you want, talk however you want. You could worship yourself through social media.
Right.
Our people love to have it so. They don't want the discipline and obedience that comes with serving Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So they got to be destroyed. They're Israelites, all right? They're beloved of the Father, all right? But they have to come back through the loins of the elect.
God, can you get Isaiah 10 and 20 for me?
God. It's the book of Isaiah. Yeah, that's a perfect 2/3 scripture right there. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote him, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
So, you know, again, the Israelites, you know, that stay upon Esau Edom, you know, that pretty much depends on Esau Edom, man, you know, for you know, their daily needs and their wants. You know, Esau Edom, your father the devil. You know, these niggas, you know, do everything and lean upon Esau for everything that they believe that they need, but knowing, which we know, is the Lord is the one who orchestrates this whole thing. Yep. You know, our power source comes from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Plain and simple.
Yeah, the Lord could put the spirit on a heathen to help you. That doesn't mean the heathen are your friends. All right, there's multiple accounts of the scriptures where, you know, the Lord would use a heathen to deliver a message or even to, you know, help out. You know, King David was helped by the heathen, all right, but he still put them in captivity, man, because they're heathen. They were created to go into slavery. They were created to be servants under Yasharallah. It's nothing personal.
Can you read down to 22, brother?
I beseech thee. Verse 21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty power.
So that remnant, again, it's a small number. All right, a small number. As and I believe that, don't the next verse say something about the Israel be as the sand of the sea?
Yes.
Go get through it.
For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return.
So being as the sand of the sea, you know, which we always go into, is damn near impossible to count. All right, that's how the innumerable amount of Israelites there are in the world. And again, a remnant, a very small percentage is actually, you know, going to be saved, you know. But again, you know, niggas like the what was that? The John 3:16. You know, they want
love the world.
They want that whole world to be the whole world, literally. You know, they want all of the heathen, all of you 2/3, you know, you niggas, you non-believers, you know, to come back and be together as one, you know, but that's not the case, man.
God, just real quick to back what you just said. This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So, yeah, the nation of Israel is so infinite that even 1/3 of our people is immeasurable, man. You have 144,000 men, which is 12,000, you know, prophets and seers and teachers out of each tribe, and then you have a multitude, which, you know, John the Revelator, he saw it, he was like, what is this? But there were Israelites that were scattered amongst all the nations, and they look like different nations. And that's another part of the gospel. You got niggas teaching that all Israelites are Negroes, the northern kingdoms in Africa, everybody's black. That I'm black y'all spirit, man. There's not a black power movement. And anybody in that spirit, it's a good chance you're not of the elect. And some of y'all are tares. Some of y'all are actually so-called white men, all right, who, you know, you came through the line of Esau, Edom, but you look like a so-called Negro. That's why you're not spiritual. You don't understand the spiritual things of the scriptures. So you're saying all of the Israelites are black, meanwhile you a whole tear.
Come on, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned something that I wanted to land back off. It's kind of slipping my mind.
About the multitude?
It's slipping my mind. It's gone. You could get Romans 11 and 4 from me, Baba Shaw.
Khan, I got something for you too.
Oh, Khan, you got it.
This Romans chapter 11, verse 4, it says, "But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal."
Khan, and those 7,000 men pretty much just goes into a complete amount of men. Okay, not exactly 7,000. Okay.
7 represents completion.
Khan, yep. And that hasn't have not bowed the knee down to the image of Baal, Salakia. You know, not bowing down, you know, to the philosophies, to this goddamn devil, man. You know, not having Esau, Edom as our God. You know, who is this is basically a scripture of those elect amount of men, you know, being faithful to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in the days to come. You know?
God. Let me read verse 7. It says, "What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded."
Khan, the Israel have not attained that which is seeking for, but the election have obtained it. All right, the Spirit has been given down, you know, through the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to a certain amount of men. All right, a certain amount of men to have this understanding, to be doing this work, to be saved, you know, in the end times, you know, which we believe to be in now, you know, through prophecy, through the scriptures, you know, measuring the time, you know. But it says at the end, it says, "And the rest were blinded." All right, again, another point proving that the Lord is not dealing with everybody. All right, if he has, right here it tells you that some people has obtained it and the rest were blinded, that's a clear separate, you know,
division.
Khan.
Yeah, and it's not of us. You can't make yourself get the truth. You could buy 10 Bibles and highlight every precept. If the Lord don't want you to get it, you're not going to get it. And there's 2/3 of our people that the Lord doesn't want to get, and they were actually, King David prayed that they wouldn't get it. Let me keep reading.
Yeah.
It says, "According as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day."
Unto this day, the spirit of eyes that they should not see and the ears that they should not hear. So what they see, what they think that they see, they think is bullshit. They think they don't really believe that, you know, that we're supposed to be out on the highways and byways with our garments preaching the word, preaching the downfall of this kingdom. You know, they think that we're supposed to be in the church house, we're supposed to be dressed real nice, you know, we're supposed to all be either some very, very, you know, wise, gray-haired, you know, old men, or, you know, probably somebody like Saul, you know, that looks really, really good, tall, dark, and handsome, that's real charismatic, you know. All of these things that bugs out, you know, a lot of people from getting this understanding. But that's not how the Lord wanted this thing to go, man. So he's blinding a lot of you people, and he's deafening your ears from the word to not give you the understanding, you know, in order to destroy you, which is It's crazy, but hey, this is what the Lord wants, man.
Yeah, Elder Yashawamba out in Dallas, he which his name is Remnant Save.
God.
But he says all the time, this ministry is like it's a litmus test for Jake's faith. All right, he uses this ministry to prove our people and to prove their integrity, because like the brother was just saying, our people, they're so moved by carnal things. You know, they're so easily deceived by, you know, rented cars, fake jewelry, fake name brand clothes. They're all about the image. They're all about how something is packaged.
Yeah.
But the Lord actually, it tells you in Corinthians, he chose the meek things of the earth to confound the wise, man.
Yeah.
He's choosing, you know, just random people, truck drivers, you know, people that you would never suspect or have the highest knowledge on the earth. And he's using us to confound, you know, these PhDs, these people with all kind of letters behind their names. They come up to the camp and they just get completely confounded, rethinking their life. All right, all the money they spent going to cemetery school, but the Lord actually gave his truth to his men.
And think about that, you know, just how you explain these people with the PhDs, the people that's been studying these things for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they got men that came in this truth within the first 5 to 10 years of just learning about the scriptures is far past these people.
6 months.
6 months.
Yeah,
God.
if you're in Great Millstone for 6 months, you can confound anybody, man.
God.
All right. Whether the topic is, well, you know, if you're in Great Millstone and you take the truth seriously, you know, if you're diligent.
Yeah.
But yeah, any topic dealing from the Trinity, the virgin birth, all right, the true intent of the Lord, who the 12 tribes of Israel are, these things are plain to us, but they're complete mysteries. You have people going to school to learn the Bible and have no idea who's the tribe of Manasseh, who's the tribe of Ephraim, who's the tribe of Judah. The Lord comes from the tribe of Judah, according to Matthew, the 1st chapter. So you got people that have no idea who the Judites are, but they've been studying the Bible for 20 years.
Yeah. And it's crazy, man, because again, you know, with that aspect of, you know, people, our, you know, it's like true men that are actually doing this work, you know, having the spirit on them, you know, that shows you that the spirit of the Lord is surpassing, you know, all of these people. As long as the spirit is dealing with you and working with you, and, you know, you're supping, you know, with your brothers, with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, you know, that's what separates you, you know, from these people, you know. But one more verse, verse 9. You can end it off on that.
Romans 11?
Yeah.
It says, and David saith, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them.
Let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. All right. And again, that's just the Lord, you know, leading you to your destruction, man. All right. For you people that's not supposed to get it, the Lord it's funny and crazy how it comes out, but hey, the Lord wants you dead. You know, it's harsh but true. You know.
Yeah, the Lord actually said he spoke in parables because if everybody got it, he would have to save everybody.
Right.
The Lord intentionally spoke in parables so that he could kill you. Which is crazy when you first learn that, but the more you're in this truth, the more it makes sense. Because Jake is not right, man.
And you know, in that manner right there, you have to go and check the Lord's track records, man. The Lord literally flooded the earth, man.
Yeah.
It was wickedness about this bitch, and the Lord completely wiped out everybody except for, what was it, 8 people?
8 people.
Noah, his sons, and their wives. You know? And you think he won't do it again? But he said he's going to do it again, but this time it's going to be with fire.
Yeah.
You know, nuclear destruction. You know?
He promised to never flood the earth. He didn't say, you know, he didn't specify he wouldn't flood it with fire.
Yeah.
All right, because America's going to be completely wiped off the face of the earth. World War III is imminent. You know, all of these countries in Europe, they know what's coming. They see, the scriptures refer to Babylon the Great as the virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, it's untouched. All right, outside of the Civil War, which was an internal conflict, America's never been touched from really outside. You know, these people have no idea what it's like to go outside one day and just see tanks just rolling through the streets, laying shit down, man. But over in Europe, they have all sorts of reminders of World War II, which was the most horrific war in human history. And the scriptures say that World War III is going to completely surpass anything the earth has ever seen. And these people, these heathen, they're having the NATO meetings. They're rebuking Donald Trump. They know what's coming. But these Americans, they have no idea. This dude right here just fishing, he has no idea that any moment his life is going to be turned into a living hell.
Yeah, that's gonna be a sight to see, man. Like we looking out right now, got clear skies, got one plane in the air right now. Yeah, imagine once you see all that shit flooded with goddamn missiles coming down to destroy this place, man.
Yeah.
You know, but that's far-fetched for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know?
Lake Pontchartrain is going to be completely dry. The scripture say, was the Lord angry with the rivers?
God. Can you get Jeremiah 15:1?
God. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15.
Might start to kick up out there.
Yeah, starting at the top. Then saith Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
All right, and just backing up the point that we made earlier, it's a reoccurring, theme with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Y'all some hard-headed niggas.
Yeah, stiff-necked.
Stiff-necked people. All right, the Lord, not compared, but in a sense said that a ox and an ass is more.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel does not know. My people do not consider.
People do not consider. All right, and these are some ignorant animals. Some animals that are hard-headed themselves, but they could get their mind right and listen to their owner rather than Israel listening to their power.
Yeah.
Like that's sickening to say, but the Lord put it that way to show you, how stiff-necked these people are.
Yeah, the Lord is constantly comparing you demonic niggas to beasts, to animals. There's a scripture in
I know they had one that talks about, like you said, brute beasts that are without the.
Yeah, that's in Jude. I wanted to get this one in Jeremiah. This phone tripping. It's like pitch black. But yeah. Anyway, there's a scripture in Jeremiah where the Lord, he basically says that even the storks can see when the weather is changing and what's coming. But you niggas don't consider.
I got you.
The screen just went black.
Yeah, it's Jeremiah 8:7. It says, Jeremiah 8:7, yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming, but my people know not the judgment of the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, our people don't know, and they don't consider. You would think, you would see men that look like you from your same city, have your same background. They come into the knowledge of, the elites. They come into the knowledge of, World War III, G5, G6 technology, or 5G, all of this madness. You breaking it down, going into the scriptures, going into the Hebrew, the Greek. You would think Jake would be like, well, let me consider this.
Right.
But you got men taking out, Saturday afternoon, the peak time of, what Babylon would consider, the chief time of folly. These men are sacrificing their lives to teach something. Hey, let me at least consider what they're saying.
Right. They think that we're bugged out.
Yeah.
What do y'all, first thing they need to think about is, okay, y'all, what y'all doing is for money?
Yeah.
Y'all need some money. Y'all out here trying to hustle the people, giving the false words. And that's something that leaves a bad taste in our people's mouth from you goddamn pastors, man.
Right.
You pastors and also you street hustlers, because they got niggas that's on the street that really hustles, the word, to try to gain some type of fame and gain some type of, money behind us.
Yeah.
But again, that's another stumbling block, for our people. All right, they have this thought of, is this how it's supposed to operate? Or okay, I don't believe it, so I don't want to turn to the Lord. So the Lord is putting that stumbling block in front of you to ultimately knock you off, man. Or He's going to give you the spirit to understand and okay, like you said, let me look into this. Yeah. Let me gain this information for myself.
Yeah. Like that Peterville.
You can get it. Oh, select it.
What you wanted?
The Jeremiah 15. You got one more. Verse
fine,
2.
fine. It's back in Jeremiah 15. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, Whither shall we go forth? Then shalt thou tell them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as for the death, to death, and such as for the sword, to the sword, and such as are for the famine, to the famine, and such as are for the captivity, to the captivity."
Con. You know, which is the result, you know, for a lot of you niggas that just truly, you know, don't believe, man. Right? To the death, to the death, to the captivity, to the captivity, to the sword, to the sword. You know, the Lord is definitely, it's clear as day, cast, you know, a lot of you niggas away from him, you know, and don't want no dealings with you until you get your mind right. And the only way you're going to get your mind right is coming through through a righteous man's loins and them Hebrew huggies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, y'all gotta, there's a hard reset coming to 2/3, man.
Con.
All right, a factory reset. You can't go into the kingdom the way you are.
Con.
All right, now we're all defiled, but what does it tell you in Romans 12? There's no Romans 8. It says there's no condemnation to them which are in Yahweh Shai. All right, we're going to be found blameless. It tells you in Revelation we're going to get that white stone, which is exemption from judgment.
God. Yeah, and I did a lesson a way back. You know, it's the effort that really sets you apart from this. You know, we know that we're not going to do everything 100% correct. We know that we're in this flesh and we're going to sin somehow, some way, you know, every day. You know, but the effort to want to get closer to the Lord, to want to be more brotherly, you know, to do this work, you know, it's a lot. Again, it's a lot of things that we could be doing right now, and like 2/3 of these niggas going across the world, being a passport, bro, doing all of these things that, you know, on paper, on video, it looks good.
Yeah.
All right, but we know that it's a job and a duty that we have to do to get close to the Lord. Again, in this grace period that we're in, to you know, for our salvation to come for us and our families and so on and so forth. You know, the believers ultimately.
Yeah, and we also want to be legends in the kingdom of heaven.
Con.
All right, we want to have our story told. We want to be, you know, Jake want recognition.
Yeah.
But we don't want it on this side. We don't want to be famous in a world where the Lord doesn't have his glory.
Con.
If you want to be glorified in a society where a man can marry a man, you're bugged out.
Con.
All right, we want to receive our glory when Yahweh Shai gets his.
Con. Real quick for you, this is Galatians 5:26. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another.
Yeah, which that goes into Israel. You know, mainly Israelites that desire to be apostles. They desire to be, you know, men that they see on YouTube. They try to jump the line and create their own doctrine, create their own camps. You know, you learn the precepts from men and then you go do your own thing. That's vain, man. That's vanity.
Yep. You can get that 2 Peter now.
The 2 Peter chapter 2, starting at the top. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them.
Con. You know, and pretty much, you know, reeling it back in, because before we, you know, jumped into that, finished that Jeremiah 15:2, we was talking about, you know, these guys that's, you know, hustling the word. You goddamn pastors that's speaking nothing but folly. I just watched a video on Instagram of that pastor who Drewski kind of made fun of. Made a comment at his congregation, and literally he just talked around what happened.
Yeah.
He didn't acknowledge nothing that happened. He didn't say that it's not true. He just went and made a whole nother story of, you know, this is what I think is going on, and people are being distracted by this and that and the third, but never truly answered of like, okay, yeah, this is not true. I'm not taking money. I don't do this and that and the third. And all you hear is people in the crowd, oh, preach, pastor. Oh, yeah. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you niggas are idiots, man.
Yes.
You're still going to church in 2026. The Lord not dealing with you.
Con.
At all.
Yeah. And main thing of those people that you're hearing is all Eve.
Of course.
That's all you hear. Eve, they, you know, talking about Israel being stiff-necked. Eve is damn, you know, stiff-necked as well.
Yeah.
You know, very much, probably even more than some of you niggas. Because once they find something that they want to do, you know, they're going to stick with it wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, anytime you look up these cults where people commit self-deletion, is a bunch of black women, man.
Con.
All right, the most educated, the strong and independent idiot, man.
Con.
Which, you know, that's a huge part of 2/3. All right, the vast majority of the nation of Israel is women.
Yeah.
So when you read about, you know, matter of fact, let me get this real quick, because a lot of people have this idea that, you know, you could judge a man, but judging a woman, that's just, oh, that's a female.
Yeah, that's taboo right there.
Yeah, this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 9,
Oh yeah.
verse 4. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city and through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Con.
And who's doing that? The elect men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Yeah.
Who else is crying out about the abominations of this society?
Con.
It's not the 2/3, it's not the YNs, it's not the so-called white man. They're lamenting the fact that their precious kingdom is at its end.
Con.
But they don't actually care about the abominations that are done in this place.
Con. If I can say real quick, you know, our people are still waiting for that next great Black Hope president to come through to set laws for you niggas, which is never going to be the case.
Yeah.
That is a fairy tale beyond fairy tale. All right, we had a goddamn Hamite, a African, you know, Obama, who was in office and, you know, didn't do anything for you niggas. So you want another nigga to come and try to overthrow Esau's kingdom as a president, you know, as one of the pawns of the goddamn elites? Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, voting is worse than going to church, man. Which a lot of you niggas are doing both.
God.
You know, Sunday you go to church, then Tuesday you go vote. You just bugged out, man.
Yeah, make sure you go vote. Go vote. It's the only way that we could, you know, make things better around here.
Yeah, if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. Where is that in the scriptures?
Right.
It says, and to the others, those that aren't sighing and crying, it says, to the others, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women.
Come on. Mentioned it twice.
Yeah, maids and women. All right. You so-called black women, you're the vast majority of the nation of Israel, and you're really at the forefront of the wickedness, because these wicked niggas are just following you.
Yeah.
All right, these niggas tattooing their face, becoming monsters, because that's what appeals to Eve, man.
Yeah.
You go to school with these niggas, you see them, they're just like regular people. Then, you know, when they hit that age where they have an interest in women, now they a super thug overnight, man.
God. It tells you what many men have erred.
Run out of their wits.
Went out of their wits behind wine and women.
Yeah.
You know, like that's sickening in the head. You know, to think, you know, that you niggas go head first behind some box, man, willing to change their life around for some box in the wrong box.
Yeah. Not even virgins. You niggas crashing out over used boxes. Bitch been with like 80 niggas, man.
Yeah. But you could even say that's another example of, you know, these goddamn pastors and so on and so forth leading our people to that destruction. Because these damn pastors believe, even though it'll speak on of women not to be preaching, women to be in silent and stuff like that, they're still going to have a church teaching side by side with their wife on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, they're constantly going to tell you the happy wife, happy life type of thing. You know, which is ultimately, again, leading, you know, niggas to destruction.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that Baptist church spirit, that's done a huge number on our people, man.
Yeah.
But it says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. Which again, that's a division. All right. This is all of these people are Israelites. All right. So there's a division between the Israelites that have the Tawah, which is the mark of exemption, and then the 2/3, which, you know, includes men, women, maids, children. This is a death angel, and it's going to pass through Babylon the Great. You're going to see the majority of our family members. They're 2/3.
God. Can you get a second? Oh, we had a little bit more in that that Peters. You can stop at 2.
It says, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction, and many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
Swift destruction. You know, this is pretty much what's going to happen to you false teachers, man. You false prophets. You know, thinking, you know, claiming that you're coming in the truth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. But again, you doing nothing but leading our people to destruction. All right, you have to pay for that. You know, you're trying to destroy the Lord's sheep. You're trying to, you know, do crazy things into the Lord's sheep, and the Lord is not playing about, you know, his chosen, you know, his people in general, you know. I got one more. I really got a lot, but then we can start winding down. 2 Timothy 3:1.
The 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. It says,
It's like let me get this one real quick. Jeremiah 5. We brought that up?
no,
Grab that real quick, and that'll fit along with this. This is Jeremiah 5:26. It says, "For among my people are found wicked men that lay wait as he that setteth snares, that they set a trap, they catch men." All right, again, and these snares, you know, that these false teachers are putting out, you know, that's money grabs, money schemes, you know, that's capturing our people, you know, and leading them astray, you know, to wrongdoings ultimately. You know, that's in the midst of Israel, and another reason why the Lord has to cut, you know, these niggas off, you know. But you can get the Timothy now.
Con. It's 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy.
Con. And it's going to continue to go down, just explaining, you know, all you niggas, man. You know, you unrighteous niggas. You know, being, what it says, lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. All right? All of these things are things that are contrary of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The Lord is not with that, man. All right? It's simple, Jake. You know, praise the Lord. Keep the Lord first. You know, serve your brothers. Do the work. That's it. Nothing about, you know, let me go ahead and make money off of this, and let me go ahead and, you know, post my pictures over the wall so y'all can worship me. You know, that's just some off shit, man. But we clearly see it being done day in and day out here in this hellhole, man.
Yeah.
You can read down to 6.
Con. It says, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
Despisers of those that are good. You know, again, further down the list. But despising, you know, the men that are actually doing the work in righteousness, man. You know, they're going to make fun of us. They're going to call us bums. They're going to call us grapists. You know, all of these things that are completely untrue. You know, Jake is in this truth probably making more money than, you know, some of these niggas who is talking crazy to us,
yeah.
Which we don't boast about it. But hey, it just sometimes it has to be known that, you know, Jake is not what you think that we are. Yeah,
you
know,
mean, they can't be that rich if they selling their soul for crumbs, man.
Right?
How rich can you be?
Yeah.
You making merchandise off of the word of the Lord. You can't be doing that well financially. If I was a millionaire, the last thing on my mind, let me blow my spot on the cherry. Let me use the Bible to make. You got so many ways to make money. Why would you use the Lord's word to make money? If you're as well off as you're claiming to be, man.
Mm-hmm. But you keep going.
Kind of says having a form of godliness, but denying. Verse 4.
Yeah, verse 4. Yeah.
Kind of traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High.
Traitors. All right. So yeah, if you're not with the Lord, you're against the Lord, man. If you're not preaching the true words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, then you're preaching wrong, man. You know, and that's what it is. You know, I had to learn a tough lesson like that of something in the world, you know, when I got in trouble with something, you know, when I was, you know, back in the service, you know, skipping the story, but at the end, you know, my sergeant told me, were you 100% right? I said, no. Then you were wrong. So if you're not 100% right, that means that you're wrong, man. You can't debate, you can't fight against nothing. Yeah, I was doing this and that and the third, but okay, yeah, I was wrong right there. You just, you know, you got to take it out, man.
Yeah.
But again, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Jake is seeking and loving that glory of being praised by men, being praised by these wicked men and wicked women of this society, rather being, you know, lovers of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, you know, which is off.
It says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts.
There you go with the women again.
Yeah.
You know, that's an example and a description of, you know, you false teachers, man. You false niggas in Israel, man. You know, and again, another reason why you have to be knocked off and taken out of the way, man. All right.
Yeah, they're not gonna stop.
They're not. They're not. They're gonna find another way to advance it. You know.
Yeah.
Got this new thing. What new to the world as of right now with the AI and stuff like that. Wait till that thing really get rolling. You know. We getting examples of some crazy shit we're seeing now, but you know, it's more and more, you know, wickedness is going to continue to happen until the Lord comes back and destroy this place, man. Which is why we need to get the hell out of here. You know.
I just saw an AI. It was a church pastor in a miniskirt, a nigga with a miniskirt and high heels on, man.
Jeez.
But it looked real, because you might as well see that in church, man. You see everything else, you niggas are off, man.
Definitely. You know, and like you said, man, just need that great reset, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why the Lord is going to destroy this place, man, because a lot of you niggas don't want that reset to happen. All right. So in order for our kingdom to come, you know, Esau Edom has to be thrown out of power, you know, and all of you that are cleaving unto Esau Edom has to be destroyed with him. All right. You pick your side, you stay on that side. All right. And when the Lord comes back, he's going to save his men first. He's going to save those believers first that have been doing his work, that has been doing everything pleasing unto him. You know, and the rest of you niggas, he's still going to hold on to his promise of bringing you back in the kingdom, but you're going to have to come back a different way than those elected men. You know, but that was it for me. So pray that this lesson was edifying. Praying to get out of here, we're going to give infinite honors and prayers unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which is brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.